something just a little bit different today. I'm going to give the 2 Chinese delivery services which I've signed up for, Fantuan and Hungry Panda, sort of exclusive use this evening. Normally I sort of switch them on along with Deliveroo and Uber Eats, and I normally start getting orders from those 2, and then forget about the Chinese ones or turn them off and never really turn them on again. So I just want to see if they're able to generate enough orders to make it worthwhile, maybe to even use those exclusively rather than the other ones like Deliveroo or Uber Eats, or at least whether they're worth signing up for to get a decent amount of orders from. Like I said, I have been signed up for both of them for a few months. I think Hungry Panda for probably almost a year and Fantuan for a few months. And like I said, really don't get that many orders from them, but that's maybe because I haven't really given them a fair whack. So tonight is the chance for me to do that. I won't turn on the other apps. I won't turn on Deliveroo and Uber Eats. I'm going to position myself in what I think is the best spot for getting orders. And on the Hungry Panda sort of heat map, it shows the sort of 2 places that are busiest are the city centre and the kind of area of the city where all the Chinese students live, the kind of University of Sheffield residential areas. So I'm going to put myself in between those 2 hotspots, and hopefully this should be the best place to get any orders. I mean, I am seeing more and more restaurants with the Hungry Panda and Fantuan signs on. Most of the time they're Chinese, but I'm even beginning to see the odd sort of Middle Eastern restaurant here and there having their signs up. So, maybe their popularity is spreading. I'll also try to kind of record my screen at the same time so you can see how the apps work. They're kind of a bit quirky and sort of very different in their sort of design language to the Western ones. I think the Chinese design is a lot busier, has a lot more kind of information on the screen. It can be a bit confusing at times. A bit of background to the 2 companies. I assumed that they were operating in China and had just sort of expanded to other countries. However, I did a bit of research on them and discovered that in fact both of the apps were founded abroad by, I think, international students, Chinese international students, who felt they needed a sort of an app to cater to the expat population and link up with all the sort of the Chinese restaurants in these cities. So I think Hungry Panda was invented here in the UK in Nottingham, I think 2017. And I believe that Fantuan was founded in around 2022 in North America, maybe Canada, I think it was, one of the Canadian cities. But like I said, both created by international students, so very much catering to the Chinese market. And certainly all of the orders I've ever done have always been from sort of Chinese restaurants to Chinese people, especially Chinese students. All right, let's open up the apps and you can see what they look like. Let's start with Fantuan. Here we go, we've got advice from other couriers. A few things there. You've got things at the bottom like your income and some profile info. And we can go online, click online, and then you've got the sort of new waiting for pickup and delivering. Now, when I first started using Fantuan, when you used to get a notification via an SMS, which was a bit odd, and then you had to open up the app to see the order. Now that seems to have changed. A recent update means that you now get like an audio notification, which is a bit weird. Both Hungry Panda and Fantuan do this, where you just get like someone shouting in your ear, you've got an order. I've turned on my stereo headset in my helmet, and that might pick that up from the microphone just so you can hear what that sounds like. So it's pretty Spartan, but we'll see once an order comes in what extra information we'll get. So let's leave that for now, and let's go into Hungry Panda. This has got a bit more information. I think it's a bit more advanced, maybe has had a few more years to develop. They have their nice little philosophy thing at the bottom. Work hard a little bit every day and make progress a little bit every day. Every day they seem to have a different one, which is quite nice. It tells you again, they've got like a heat map here you can look at. And then there's a variety of things there. You can see my very poor 3 stars out of 5. No idea why. I think I've successfully delivered everything they've given to me. Again, it can be a little bit quirky. I think the first order I kind of screwed up a bit. I think one thing with both of these apps is that you have to phone the customer just before you arrive, because it doesn't seem possible to get the code, the delivery code that you need to type in from them if you don't phone them first. I don't understand what that is. Maybe that's a Chinese thing. Maybe that's it's a cultural thing. You have to kind of phone the customer before you arrive there. So here we go. There are various things. There's statistics there. Plan, not sure what that is. It doesn't seem to be anything on there. Messages, there's a help center, knowledge base, that kind of thing. And there we go. So there's the online. So I'm going to go online. Oh, going to fill in some tax information by a certain date. Way too much about that. All right, so we're online with both of these services now. So I'm now going to wait patiently, however difficult that might be, until I get an order from at least one of them. And then we'll see how we go on during the next few hours to see how many orders I can get. I'll kind of check back in with you once I receive an order. All right, well, I waited 10 minutes or so and nothing seemed to really happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the issue a little bit and move myself much closer to where the sort of mini Chinatown is in Sheffield. There's a sort of a street where there's a lot of Chinese restaurants. So let's have a quick look here and see. All right, so you can see there's a variety of Chinese restaurants here. There's one over there, Street Grill. See if we can see the kind of signs for the delivery services. There's a Taiwanese one there. Maybe Taiwan wouldn't be on them. That's a good question. Yeah, you can kind of see on these other ones. You got Hungry Panda and Deliveroo there. Don't think they got Fantuan there. There's another one up there. There's a Chinese restaurant, Oizoi, up there. So there's quite a few around here. All right, I'm finding it quite difficult just to sit around doing nothing. I think once you get used to Deliveroo and Uber Eats, when you're kind of getting orders thrown at you pretty regularly, to kind of just sit and wait and wait and wait is really quite difficult. So I got nothing for about another 10 minutes. So I'm going to drive around a bit and see if that prompts anything just by sort of being near a restaurant or something. Because I'm not getting anything even in the Chinatown section of the city. So let's do a little wander around other places. I know there are lots of Chinese restaurants and see if that does anything for me. Wait, what are you doing, mate? F***ing idiot. All right, I'm wandering up this road again. Lots of Chinese restaurants on here. Nothing coming through though. I'm just going to do a loop and then come back down this road because there's no point getting any further out than this because you're getting really far away from all the Chinese restaurants at this point. Ooh, here we go. We've got one. This, I think, is Fantuan. Let's have a quick look. Judging by that, you did hear that. Yes. Scotland Street. All right, so you can see the Stream now. Let's just confirm that. I've got 23 seconds to do that. You can see it's telling me where I'm going to. So, oh, sure, I think. Okay. I think that's just around the corner, I think, this restaurant here. Let's just pop round. If I remember rightly. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, it's thrown me out into Google Maps. There's a button that takes you to Google Maps. So, let's go and pick this one up. Yeah, it's right down the end of the street. Okay, let's go into, let's just close. All right, let's bring up Fantuan now. So you can see it says going to the merchant. So I just need to stop here. And there's a button there which says arrived at store. So this one's paying $3.32. It's not going very far though, judging by that. All right, so I've arrived at store. Now it just says pick up. Okay. Sir Fantuan. Do you have Fantuan? It's 273. How long will it take? Do you know? 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, this was the problem I had with Fantuan before. Okay, as you may have heard there, this is going to take 15 minutes. This is the problem, obviously, with being so close to the orders, is that you kind of get the very... Oh, okay, now this is interesting because you can actually do these in any order you want. I think you can have multiple orders with... Now, I don't know if there's a way. I thought you could do them in different order. So you could like do another one first and then go back to the other one. But it says already wait for meal. Is there any way to do this second one? You can see the second one's there, but it doesn't seem any option to say arrived at store. Oh, okay, it does. So I can pick this up. All right. So, because I remember I got an order, 2 orders from Fantuan, and it didn't really seem to suggest you have to do them in any particular order. You could do them whatever order you want, which is unusual for these apps. So let's just see. This may not be ready as well. Hi there. Do you have the order 68445? It's not. How long do you think it's going to be? 10 minutes. Okay. Cheers. All right. Well, I've got these 2 orders, and she was delightful with that, obviously. Very happy to talk to me. It only works out at about £6 something, £6.30 for these 2 orders. Like I said, not going very far either of them, though. And it doesn't seem to matter which order you do them in, which is quite unusual. Here you're just given a delivery time. So one's to deliver by 1954 and one's to deliver by 1955. Still, I might as well just wait for these now. Pick them up and then do them. I'm not sure what wait for meal means. I don't want to click that in case that sort of activates something. Since that was, let's try this one. I'm going to click wait for meal. We'll see what happens. Failed to report. Not yet at beta. What the hell does that mean? 1942. 21 minutes, 2 seconds remaining. Reported arrival under 3 minutes. Near merchant. Report before. I don't know what that means. I don't know what wait for meal means. Okay, so it seems like I'm not allowed to report something. All right, well, I'm going to hang on here and pick these up. But I'll check back in with you in about 10 minutes when I go and pick these up. Hi there, is that one ready yet? Oh, perfect, thank you. Cheers. All right, let's go and pick up the other one. It's supposed to be ready pretty much now as well. Hi there. Not yet. What? How long do we think? 10 minutes. Say again? Okay. I don't even know how to cancel them on this app, but you know, I'll come back in 5 minutes and see. Okay. Okay. So I went back in after 10 minutes, and it still says 10 minutes. So I was going to try and cancel it. So I went for this wait for meal thing, and this now allows me to reassign order. I think the only problem is there's a limit to how many you can do of these. Fantuan seems to sort of hold it against you if you don't pick up orders or you cancel them. Because I got a little report one time where I logged on. They said, "Oh, you're still above the threshold for cancellations or something." So I think I'm going to wait on this one and then just do the 2 orders. Is that it? Thank you. 2, 3. Yeah, that's the one. I can see some of the problems here with delivering on these services. One is that you're going to be kind of quite close. You've got to be kind of quite close to the restaurants to get the orders. But when you get them, you've got a really long wait often because you're basically there. You're on top of the restaurant when the order just came in. They've still got to prepare it. So it's often 10, 15 minutes before it's ready, which obviously isn't great. I suppose the deal is if you can get more than one order and you can get them stacked up, then you can just be shuttling between them and delivering the orders maybe while waiting for another one, since there's no specified order in which to deliver them. But whether you'd ever get enough orders to make that profitable, I don't know. Let's pop off and do these. I've got kind of 15 minutes to get these done, which should be doable. I think if you don't do them in time, you get put on some kind of naughty list. I have been out about an hour, I think. And it looks like I would have made about maybe £6 in that time, which is obviously not great. And the fact that I haven't got any other orders from the other service, from Hungry Panda, is also not exactly great either. You would think that being around all those Chinese restaurants, at least one of them would have popped up with an order. So, I mean, maybe this would work better in bigger cities, maybe Manchester, London, where they've got even bigger sort of Chinese student populations. I mean, Sheffield's got a pretty sizable one, to the point that we have developed our own little kind of neighbourhoods of Chinese restaurants and Chinese residents. But for those of you who are interested in registering for these services, it seemed relatively simple to sign up for them. You know, you completed all the normal information, upload your right to work and, you know, driving license and various other bits and bobs. And it only took a few weeks for it to get kind of confirmed. But I'm curious if anyone out there is doing this in other cities and getting sort of regular orders from these companies. Brookhill car park? Or was it here? Somewhere around here? Surely not. I don't know where this place is. This is a car park. I can't be delivering to a car park. Hi there. I'm here with your order from Fantuan.
Yes.
But I don't know exactly where your building is.
It's Sherman Court, the student accommodation.
What's it called?
Sherman.
Maybe it's this. Ah, there we go. Sherman Court. I know where we are. Is this from Tiny Shop?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm very confused.
Just locate, because there has a back door.
Yes. That's where the Google Maps sent me, sort of around the other side. So, yeah, that's your one. Do I need to get a code? I've got to confirm with a photo. Let's take a photo. Okay. Does that upload? Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Complete. Have you contact and complete? Yes. There we go. I think I've done that. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, that was complicated. Let's get on to the next one. Okay. All right, let's get on to this next one. I'm just going to barely make this in time, I think. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Okay. I think I know where this one is. This one's going to be a little less complicated because I do actually know where this building is. Again, a lot of them seem to require you to like call the student or call the person and also take a photo as well and leave it at reception. There's a whole jumble of messages there that, and I'm not quite sure which one you're supposed to follow. All right, let's just pop this off here and hopefully they can then look for the next order. Oh, it's actually quite stressful doing this. All right, what about this one? Okay, need call. I'm just going to call the customer. From Shuyo, yes? The Korean restaurant, yes? Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, well, that's done. That wasn't fun. Let's see what I've made. £6.30 in just over an hour. Awesome. So my feeling is that these services might be a lot better for cyclists than for moped riders or car drivers, just because it's all going to be very focused on the city centres where parking is naturally quite limited. And you're probably going to be going fairly short distances to deliver as well, probably just across the city or just outside the city, which again does suit the cycle riders more than motorised transport. But still, I'm going to persist. I promised myself I would give them a fair old try, and I'm going to give them a fair old try, even if it means I don't bugger all this evening, which it looks likely given how much I've earned in an hour. All right, let's try a different location this time. Let's go a bit closer to the city centre, where again there's a fair number of Chinese restaurants, and see if that prompts anything at all. And the thing is, I'm looking at these this sort of maps of where it's busy and not busy, and it just seems that the really busy areas are the areas where the students live. So it's not that. I'm wondering if these heat maps are kind of incorrect in that they just show you where the orders are going to, but they're not showing you where the orders are coming from, which is what the information you really need. So I think around where the student residences are, there aren't actually that many Chinese restaurants. They're all here in the city centre. But I presume a lot of people go out to deliver to them. The same with the other busy area. That's another area where there's a huge number of student residences, but I don't recall seeing that many Chinese restaurants out there. So it's a bit of an oddity. Perhaps go up here. This again puts us quite close to a lot of these restaurants. All right, well, I'm going to head out to where the heat map is telling me it's busiest. Like I said, I'm not convinced this is accurate. But in for a penny, given that I'm getting absolutely no other orders at the moment. All right. I'm putting myself right in the centre of the heat map, which Hungry Panda apparently tells us is where all the action is. But like I said, this is a suburban area. This makes no sense. Like I said, I suspect that their heat map is bullshit. And the heat map just shows you where the orders are going to. So I'm going to just, let's say this is like literally the center. And I know why they've put that, because just down at the end of this road are the student resident. Oh, there we go. I have got an order. So I've got a £5.75 order. And well, I stand corrected. I've got an order from Hungry Panda from sitting in the middle of the heat map. So I was wrong. I apologise, Hungry Panda. I really do. So let's go back and pick this up. It's a £5 order. I was so excited, I didn't check to see where the hell it was going. So I don't know how far this is. Ah. Okay. Now let's try and make sense of the Hungry Panda app. So let's click on pick up. So is that going to Sandygate Park? I'm not actually sure where that is, but all right. If I deliver it before 2038, I get some sort of plus £1.47 bonus. Is that included? Oh, we'll see. Yeah, let me just have a quick look. Hi there. It's a Hungry Panda. Is that? Have you got that? Perfect. All right, let's get off and deliver this one. So I've got to get. I mean, I've got plenty of time to deliver it. I've got like 25 minutes before the sort of the bonus is erased. But let's just see how much I actually get at the end from this. I'm not sure I fully understand all the sort of promotions and stuff on there. There's lots of numbers on there, and I'm not really sure what a lot of them mean. So yeah, I think just from this initial test of these two services, that you definitely couldn't just use them exclusively. At least not here in Sheffield, maybe some other city, a bigger city, with more Chinese restaurants, more Chinese students. But perhaps just as a bit of a backup, and I just turn them on often when I'm not getting anything from Uber Eats or Deliveroo, which is fairly rare. But on those a few occasions where there's been like 15-20 minutes where nothing's popped up, I'll flip them on, and very occasionally I'll get an order from them. But I think it's helpful just to sort of try it without turning on the other apps, just to get an idea of just how frequent you do get orders from them. And I think what we're getting from this is not that often. Not that often. Oh, I think this is it here. Nice. Right, I better give a phone call just in case.
Hello?
Hi there, I'm here with your order from Zap Thai.
Yeah. Are you okay now? Ready now?
Yeah, I'm outside now, yeah.
Alright, okay.
All right, mate, there you go. 5439, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. That was okay. It's 5:47. Didn't take too long. Probably the whole thing was over in 10 minutes. It did say it'd be £1.47 for fast delivery. I thought that'd be on top of the £5, but it turned out to be included in it. So in fact, if I hadn't delivered it in time, it would have been like a £4 order. All right. Well, that's the 2 hours up. My experiment delivering for the two Chinese delivery services, Fantuan and Hungry Panda. Let's total up what we've got. Unfortunately, I didn't get any more orders after that the last one. So everything was in those three orders, which totaled around about £11, £12 for 2 hours, which obviously is not enough to live on by any stretch of the imagination. So as I said, probably not a service you can use exclusively, but maybe one just to add on to the ones you've already got, just in case you're struggling at any point to get some orders, and they may be useful. But there you go. That was a little test of the Chinese apps. Hope you found it useful. Give a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and wherever you are in the world, have a damn good one.